It's an honor for me to be here with you today for the World City Summit 2022. I really wish I was able to join you in person in the beautiful city of Singapore, a city that I know well as I spent some of my secondary school here and have seen how planting of trees initiated by the late Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew and other initiatives have led to the green and livable city Singapore has become today. Singapore is an important hub for the World Bank. We thank the Singapore government for the warm welcome and hosting our offices here to support our operations in the East Asia and Pacific region, in urban and many other sectors. We really greatly appreciate our strong relationship with the government of Singapore, including with the Center for Livable Cities and the Urban Redevelopment Authority, the organizers of this very important forum. The theme of this year's forum, Livable and Sustainable Cities Emerging Stronger, is very timely, and I welcome the opportunity to share how the World Bank is helping countries achieve that goal. We know that historically, cities have been great drivers of prosperity. Well-functioning cities spur innovation that facilitate matching between talent and jobs and enable the emergence of concentrated networks of suppliers that allow businesses to thrive. The pandemic severely hindered cities' abilities to perform these functions. However, as we emerge from the pandemic, we must also help cities address challenges associated with climate change and inequality. Cities account for 70% of global greenhouse gas emissions, with high-income cities having the highest per capita emissions and upper-middle income cities collectively contributing the most globally. By contrast, with a share of less than 1% of emissions, cities in the world's low-income countries barely register, and yet it is those cities that climate change will hit hardest. Meanwhile, urban inequality is very high in many cities in lower income countries. The drivers of disparity include unequal access to basic services such as education, clean water and safe sanitation, and clean and decent affordable housing. So, what are we doing to help cities confront these challenges? At the World Bank, we are supporting cities in pursuing a green, resilient, and inclusive approach to urban development. This approach aims to, first, lower greenhouse gas emissions in cities with high emissions and avoid increases in low emission cities. Second, lessen the impact and increase the speed of recovery of cities from climate change related shocks. And finally, make cities places where all residents have equal access to markets and services. The approach has three key elements: addressing critical infrastructure gaps, promoting sustainable urban development, and adopting nature-based solutions. The first element, addressing the gaps in critical basic service and urban infrastructure, is fundamental to overcoming inequality and strengthening resilience. Filling service gaps means the difference between a 30% and a 5% fall in economic activity for cities when hit by a tropical cyclone, for instance. The second element, promoting sustainable urban development, entails creating cities that are more compact, with fewer cars and cleaner shared public transportation. Globally, cities that are more compact emit less CO2. In addition, through transport that provides better accessibility to jobs for the urban poor living at the peripheries of cities, more compact development can be a powerful tool for addressing inequality. Finally, the third element is the adoption of nature-based and innovative planning solutions to help climate change. In addition to weather, temperature experienced across a city are influenced by the amount of green space, the depth of street canyons, building materials, and building designs. Likewise, investing in the restoration of urban wetlands can help city both mitigate extreme heat and reduce its risk of flooding from extreme rainfall. The World Bank is committed to supporting countries and cities as they surmount the challenges of climate change and inequality while emerging from the pandemic. Working together to achieve a vision of a green, resilient, and inclusive development, we will help cities move from surviving to thriving, and as a result, we will have more livable and sustainable cities for our people to live in. Thank you, and I wish you all a constructive discussion at the forum and look very much forward to hearing the insights and recommendations from this forum.